I think I trust this. I haven't looked at this yet.
Good call.
Right, yeah. I've not feeling especially entitled. I have put a title on this, which is, as you can see, I Ask. And my name goes with that title, so that's writing. I ask myself in order to ask others, in order here to ask institutions. And even as I say the word ask, I think of what it can mean. Inquire, question, interrogate, demand. I ask of myself means what I expect of myself. And then ask also means invite. And so thank you for the invitation to write something and then to read it as well. Is it a neighborhood campus NYU is still advertising in a present and future education brand as we look at 2031, but more the construction that day by day will attack that very neighborhood. Even more interesting contradictions if we know New York to be the draw as well, to say nothing of a university as memory and mind. New York, like education, has made me shape myself, yet also it. From my harbor window growing up in Brooklyn Heights, I watched the lower Manhattan skyline so many days of my life, it was almost part of my body. This is long before the World Trade Center towers, long before I left. You leave and let go this city, and for reasons, or you may leave and come back, as I have done 4 times. Finally, in 1982, to reestablish myself and yet another family in the lower Manhattan that I had walked across the bridge to visit when I was a child before it was called Tribeca. And when Greenwich Village was a significant subway ride away, like the Broadway theaters, Central Park and the Met, Fort Tryon and Bay Ridge before the Verrazzano. Though the village was near also as images and emotion, history and the future, as a place and a past developing in me. Greenwich Village, the promise and crude hope of who and what was there. Time for writing, I oddly thought. Yes, for even long ago, I would be a writer. Known village poets teaching me the reader, and then some of them spurned by me when I got smarter. Great playwrights living and working in part of a college vacation summer. I remembered this the other day when I helped out with the production of The Master Builder at the Cherry Lane. And painters, for decades inhabiting obscure walk-ups, walking the street like old Italian residents, sitting under trees. Even artists fascinatingly doomed by bad habits and pretension, and as if always the sound of a piano across an interior sun-shadowed courtyard. And my question, pausing at the gate, what is this? Even a mysterious woman, an artist who had been referred to my father by someone who knew, making in her 3rd floor studio somewhere in the village a pencil portrait of me at 8 to be framed from my mother. And West 4th Street crossing West 11th, like another imperfectly planned but real and reassuring ground-level eccentricity, often building itself into my own timeless sense of Greenwich Village, where I believe I never planned to live. We are not objective, but if the shaping of the experience, which is itself a shaping spirit both in and not in our hands, develops one way or another, we must study to judge that shaping. Quickly now, thinking deadlines and unimaginable but stark target futures, thinking always, what is NYU? Thinking city council, thinking even the promise of some compromise, for cities must grow. Thinking NYU classrooms, where I have twice been asked to try to teach others to teach themselves how memory matters, yet how, even more importantly, you make it up out of what you know. Knowing it is the questions in their relation to what is near, but what is elsewhere. Asking what questions university and city together might ask here as to what things are to be remembered and built and how. And as I think or remember to try to from once upon a time until here and now, a New Yorker at 82, and from this mere task to what it's part of, how I must be in several places at the same time, I wonder whether at this crucial yet not universal instance of a city neighborhood being forced to share even more an obstacle course of incorporation that pretends to be a place of learning, we might think again how university and city are to name the thing that is being done. Now, many errors consist of this alone, that we do not apply names rightly to things, Spinoza observes. Since the university in question is now in the business of a mass education brand, as even I, receiving a salary there long ago, twice profited from that business, what else is its business, I ask? Or of old New York, perhaps the greatest of heterogeneous cities, and always a city that manages to think. Thank you.